Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to create paper bunting in ScanNCut Canvas. I've shown you how to do this using Inkscape. If you go to the playlists on my YouTube channel, Apple Lover 53, and look for the Inkscape playlist, you'll find this video in there. In Inkscape it's easier because Inkscape is a free vector software program available off the internet, and you can use any TrueType font that you have on your computer or that you can download onto your computer, and it will open in Inkscape, which gives us far more versatility because we can use dingbats and all kinds of things. But I'm going to show you how you can do the same type of thing in Canvas, but there are just a few more steps involved. The first thing I'm going to do is, I've got Inkscape open here, and I've used Saru's Flower Ding, which I will put the details to in the description box, and I've typed some random letters. This first one here is a letter A, a capital letter A. And then I've got other various letters. So I'm just going to get rid of that one for now. When you use dingbats in Inkscape, in order for them to open in Canvas, you have to select them and go Path, Union. And you have to do that on each individual item on your page. Then you would save this file as an SVG file, which is an Inkscape file, which is what I've done. And then I've opened it in Canvas, and it's automatically made it into a ScanNCut file, and here it is. So I'm going to open this file now, and then I'm going to create some bunting, and I'm going to use these designs, but I'm just going to put them on the side of the page for now. Now the thing with Canvas is it only has 10 fonts. So when you go to the text tool here, you've only got 10 fonts, so you can't utilise anything like these dingbats. You can't bring any other fonts in. So this is the only way to do it at the moment. So if you want to use a word and in a different font that's in Canvas, you'd have to type the word in Inkscape, do the path union, bring it into Canvas, and then you can do whatever you would like to do with it. And I have done a previous video on using fonts, as I say, in Inkscape. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to come to the basic shapes, and I'm going to choose this triangle shape. I'm going to hold my shift key down, and I'm going to rotate it all the way round, and that keeps it level if you hold the shift key down. While it's selected, you can see the size here. It's just under 4 inches high by just under 3 inches wide. I want to make it about 8 inches high. And I want to make it about 6 inches wide. We don't have an exact sizing option in Canvas, so that's why I'm saying about. I'm just going to drag this out. Okay, so that's my shape there. Then I'm going to come back to the basic shapes and select a circle, and holding my shift key down, I'm going to size this one down to around about 1/4 of an inch, so 0.25 or thereabouts. While it's selected, I'm going to right click and hit duplicate. And I've now got 2. It's going to bring them up here and just position them roughly where I think I'm going to want the holes in the top of this bunting. Don't want them too near the corners, so they kind of look about right. I'm just going to select the 2 circles only and go to Edit, Align, Bottom, and that will line up the bottom edges of the circles. And while they're selected, I'm going to right click and hit Group, and they're now a group. So I can drag them down here and position them roughly from the top where I think I want them. But obviously they're not centralised. I'm going to drag an imaginary box around the circles and the triangle and go Edit, Align, Centre. And that puts the circles that are a group directly in the centre of this shape. I'm going to drag an imaginary box around everything again. And I'm going to come to the subtract icon and hit subtract. And basically what that does, it punches those holes into that shape and makes it one shape. So if I fill this with colour now, you'll see that everything fills with colour apart from the holes. They're transparent. Okay, I'm going to right click and create a duplicate and bring the duplicate over here. And I'm just going to take the colour out of the duplicate at the moment so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to come back down here and choose this triangle again. Hold the shift key down and rotate it round. And this time I want to make this one about 6 inches high and 4 inches wide. And I'm just going to drag it just above this one. I'm going to drag an imaginary box around those two. And I'm going to go to Edit, Align, Centre, and Edit, Align, Middle. And while they're both selected, I'm going to come back up here to the subtract icon. And again, what that's done, it's punched a hole, if you like, with this small triangle out of this big one. So if I fill this with colour now, and I'll make it a different colour so you can see what I'm doing. You can see this one's transparent in the middle, and if we line these two up, you'll see they line up perfectly, so the holes line up. So you've got two different types of bunting there. Now, as I said, I've already saved these flowers from Sarah's Flowerding and opened them in Canvas. Now, what you need to do, we don't have the facility in Canvas to save a file like this and then open it and copy it and put it into a new blank Canvas document. So what I would do now is I would save this. So I'm going to call it Bunting Video. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Then I'm going to go back to my projects. Where all my files are, and open it. There it is, Bunting Video. And this is kind of like my template now. Now it's not saved these because they weren't on the mat. So what I can do now, I might want to weld. I'm going to click this triangle and send it to the back. Oh, I'm going to delete it. I'm going to click the triangle and send it to the back. Okay, so I might want to weld some of these shapes on here now. And then I'm going to select this one and right click and duplicate it and bring it down here. And I'm just going to make this one slightly bigger so it attaches to there. Just going to move this one out of the way for a minute. So if I select all of these now and hit the weld icon, it will weld all those flowers together. and it will weld them to the frame. And if I select it and take the colour out of it, you'll see what I mean. Okay, so that's welded those flowers there now. I'll fill it with colour again. And then what you need to do now is you need to rename this. So just for the sake of the video, I'm just going to call it 2. I'm going to click on the save icon. It's going to ask me, do I want to overwrite the original or save as a new project? Well, I want to save as a new project because I want to keep the original bunting with nothing welded to it as a template. So I'm going to say save as another project. I'm going to go back to all my projects. So there's the one I've just saved, and here's the original called Bunting Video. So if I open this one up again, the Bunting Video, there's my template. So this time you might want to put some of these flowers on top of this one. Now this isn't, I'm going to change the colour because obviously you clearly can't see that. I'm going to select the triangle and send it to the back because it's obviously on top at the moment. So I'll just choose this one as well and I'll change it to red so you can see it on the video. And then I'll bring that one over and just position it there. You probably wouldn't want to do this, but it's just showing you. You may want to do it with letters. So I'm going to position those there and I'm going to hit subtract again. And there's another one. And again, you would save that, give it another name and save it. And when the option comes up, you would save it as a new project. So that's, I'm just going to undo them for now. So that's another way. Okay, now you may want to use letters. So we'll come to the text icon and I'm going to use this stencil font because I always think stencil fonts work better when you're doing something on a solid background. So we'll just double click on here to get the flashing cursor and we'll just type a letter A. Select it. I'm going to drag it out a bit. I'm going to fill it with colour just so you can see it on the video. Don't have to do this, it's just because I filled this in black and I'm going to position that over there. Drag an imaginary box around both of these and hit subtract. And again, now that's, use that as like a stamp, as a punch. So that's transparent. So that's how you can do letters on a solid background. But say you want to use this and weld a letter to it. So this type of frame type construction is better using a solid font. So we'll double click to get the flashing icon. We'll use a letter A again just for the sake of the video. Going to position this up here and I'm going to drag it out. And what you want is you want an overlap here and an overlap on the edges, but this letter A is not to come outside like that. It's got to be just overlapping this inner line. And then drag an imaginary box around. Oh, I've got, just move that one out the way. There you go. Drag an imaginary box around both of these, and this time you hit weld. Okay, and then you can see where it's welded, and if I fill it with colour, you'll see how it looks. So if you're punching it out of a solid shape, you want to use subtract. And if you're attaching it to a transparent or hollow shape, you need to hit weld. And then obviously, if this wasn't punched out of the middle of here, you could line that up and your holes would line up and you'd just see a different colour background. So you could cut this in 2 different colour card. You could have black card that's all solid and red on the top, and it would all layer up. It would look great for birthday bunting or a Christmas bunting. So that's how you do it using Canvas. As I say, there are a few more steps involved than doing it in Inkscape, but it can be done. And then again, obviously, save this using a different name up here. But always make sure you save your original bunting as a file. And then when you work on it like this, give it a new name. If you don't give it a new name, it will overwrite the original file. So you have to give it a new name. So if I change this now just to 3, for example, and click this button, which is to save, it will come up and it says, do you want to overwrite this project or save as another project? So you would save as another project. So I hope you find that helpful. Please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.